Welcome to the village. I'm Mr. Adams, and today we'll be looking at how to use the One by Wacom tablet, some do's and don'ts, and also how to set it up for Photoshop. To start off with, One by Wacom is a graphic tablet, and a graphic tablet helps us draw digital works, animations, illustrations on computers using a stylus or a pen. So whenever I think of a graphic tablet, think of a tablet that helps you create illustrations, drawings, animations on a computer with the help of a pen or a stylus. Some graphic tablets may not require the use of a computer, but to use the One by Wacom graphic tablet, you first need a computer, the graphic tablet, the cord to connect the graphic tablet to the computer, and a pen or a stylus. Alright, so the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that your graphic tablet is connected to your computer and you have your stylus or pen out and ready to draw. When you open Adobe Photoshop, you click on New File, and then go on to Print, and then select A4. We'll use that for practicing. So select A4, and then we'll leave the orientation to vertical or portrait and click on Create. Good. Now we are in Adobe Photoshop and we are ready to start using our graphic tablet and pen. Next thing we need to do is go straight for the pencil tool or the brush tool. In your case, it's likely to be the brush tool that is changed. So select the brush tool, right click the brush tool, and then you get to select pencil. After pencil has been selected, we are going to make some strokes on our graphic tablet. Now when you make a stroke, okay, at the moment my color is looking a bit brown or orange. If you want to increase the size of your brush or pencil, you go straight up here, select this, and then increase the size to make it a bit bigger. And now we have a much thicker stroke. If you want to increase it even more, let me increase it. And now we have a much thicker stroke. Alright, so that is for the sizes of the brush. Now, if you want to change the color, you can come to the color section. And if that isn't working, or if you can't find that, you go to Windows. Mine says View. Oh, there we go. That's the Windows. And then you select color. Then you have your color pop up over here. So whatever color you decide to pick from the color palette, that's what will be showing on your canvas or A4 paper. So that's how we make our strokes. And now what we're going to do is learn a bit about layers. So layers can be found on the right bottom corner. This is what we call layers. To create a new layer, you click on this, and then it will say create new layer. You select the plus sign, it will create a new layer. Now in Photoshop, it's advisable to work in different layers so that when you make a mistake, you can only delete that layer. So when you import an image to trace or draw over, you have that image on a layer, and then you draw over that image on another layer so that when you make a mistake, you can rub it off and not affect your entire work. So at the moment, this whole time we've been working on the background layer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to erase everything and start over with an image. To do that, you can either use the E for the eraser. That erased the background. Or use the Ctrl Z. Ctrl Z undoes everything that you've done. Everything it'll basically go back to where you started from. So you just keep finger on Ctrl Z, and if you're using a MacBook, that will be Command Z. Yeah. Or we could just delete the layer. So create a new layer and then delete the old one. Yeah. Now I need to give this layer a background, so I'm going to put that there, this, and change it to white. Okay, so if you have a piece of work that you want to illustrate digitally, you first take a photograph of it, or if you have an image that you want to trace over, you first take a photograph of it and then you can import it to Adobe Photoshop. In my case, I have a photograph. I'll just copy and paste it here. Stretch it to the desired size, double click, and then that's it. Now you can see the photograph has created its own layer over here. So what we're going to do next is create a layer on top of that. Now that that layer has been created, the next thing we do is we'll reduce the opacity of the image so that when we start drawing and making strokes, we'll be able to see our strokes at the same time see the image behind. So opacity, reduce it to a desired opacity. Now I'm going to select my new layer on top of the image and then zoom in. You zoom in by using the shortcut Ctrl plus or Command plus if you're using a MacBook. Now we zoom in so that drawing becomes very easy. That's why we zoom in. So with my layer 1 selected, I'll go and pick my pencil, change the color to black, reduce the size of your pencil to a desired size. I think this should be just fine. A bit more. Ctrl plus. It's a bit too zoomed in, but I'll just use this as an example. And then you begin to draw over it. If you make a mistake, Ctrl Z or Command Z. So the drawing has to be done slowly, and also be mindful of your eye to hand coordination. It will take some time to get used to, especially if you've been drawing on a graphic tablet or an iPad, which is directly onto the screen. A graphic tablet like the Wacom, one by Wacom, it takes some time to actually get the hand to eye coordination right. Now that bit is done, just zoom out, Ctrl minus or Command minus. Then continue drawing along the lines. Let's do this quickly. A quick drawing, just so we have a feel of how drawing happens on the graphic tablet. So we keep zooming in, maintaining our eye to hand coordination. This is usually the first sketch, so it can be rough just for you to get the shape, and that's it. Continue drawing along the lines, keeping our eye to hand coordination going. It'll take a bit of time, but you have to keep practicing to get used to it. Zoom out, and just do this bit to complete it. Draw minus, let's go this way, Control plus. Then I'll have to go over this line as well. Again, this will take some time to get used to, especially if it's your first time. Now to have a look at the sketch that I've done, what I need to do is, there's a visibility toggle here, alright, so I'm going to click on it, and then that takes the photograph away so that you can see your sketch. Click it and then the photograph is back. Now this is just my first sketch, so I can decide to reduce the opacity and then go over it to perfect it to a desired sketch or form. This is just a basic sketch using a photograph. Now from this bit you can decide on the details of the work that you want to create, the stroke, the size of the strokes that you want to be using, the pencils, the brushes, the colors. Now it's completely up to you to explore. You need to remember that you have the layers on the bottom right. We have our pencil tool, which will sometimes look like a brush tool, and also we have some shortcuts such as the B for brush tool, E for the eraser, and then we have Ctrl Z to undo, which takes everything back to where you started from. So this is a quick start on how to use the graphic tablet to create a sketch. When creating, remember to work on different layers, and whenever you make a mistake, use the shortcut Ctrl Z. Do not press too hard on the graphic tablet, and do not work on just one layer. Let's get some work done.